Okay. Okay, so the other night I was having like a cute little mental breakdown because I was like questioning. So, what triggered this, right, was you had said that I reminded you of the 80s. And I had thought you were going to say like 90s grunge because that
Mm-hmm.
was the closest that I could think that like related to myself. And then I started like questioning why I
Oh
thought you were
no.
going to say 90s grunge and then why you did say the 80s. And I feel like fell into like a little spiral about it, right? Because
Okay.
that's what I do. And I was like, what is my aesthetic? Like, I don't know that I know anymore because as long as I can remember, like when I was younger, I remembered that I used to dress for like shock value. Like you
Mm.
remember when leggings weren't a thing? Like when wearing leggings with like
You were
a short,
slutty
yeah,
for
with like
wearing
a
leggings.
shirt and it wasn't like a long shirt was like wow. Like that was like a
Yeah.
shock. I was one of the first people to do that. I was
Oh.
like immediately on that train and I would wear them to like school and people thought I was like a whore. All because I wore leggings.
Yeah.
And then I remember I've always had like my tits out a lot. Like that's always just been like my thing. Like just like slutty shirts or slutty outfits or just like slutty and
Mm-hmm.
very male gaze oriented, unfortunately. Um, and then when I came out, I immediately went in the opposite direction and I started doing everything I could to not be perceived by men. I
Mm-hmm.
was like wearing as baggy clothes as possible. I was dressing like shit. I was just like trying to fend off male attention by all means. Um, and now that I'm like comfortable in myself and where I sit, and I'm like accepting myself and actually loving myself, and I'm like trying to take care of my body more and like get to a place where I feel really good, I'm like looking at all my clothes and I'm like, I hate all of them.
Mm.
And I've reached that point where I'm like, who am I? Like, what do I want to dress like? Like, what can I imagine myself wearing? What would I be comfortable in? So I
Oh.
did what any delusional person during a mental breakdown would do, and I went to Pinterest. I
Yeah.
started looking up different aesthetics. And I landed on like very earth tone, very like I sent you a couple. It's like grungy, but it's like library leather Burke nerd, like vintage, like almost 70s, almost 80s, but like not the like
Mm.
hyper colorful side of it.
Like casual.
Yeah, like what's that show? The show about the kids.
Stranger Things?
Yeah, like those
Yeah.
kinds of
That's
outfits.
what I was thinking in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and that's, I was looking at them and like I could see myself wearing them and like being comfortable in them. And I was like wondering, then like as soon as I found something, I was like, do I only think that I like that and I'm going to be comfortable in them because that's like a thing now, that it's like popular right
Mm.
now? And it just like another spiral and it was just
Yeah.
like never ending. And I was like, how do you figure that out? Because like if you look it up online, it's like a bunch of weird random quizzes from like companies who want you to buy their clothes or who want you to like buy a thrift box from them or who want to like design your home. It's not anything that's actually useful in any
Yeah.
way. And I don't know. I have no clue how to do it because it's not like I have $1 million to go out and buy outfits from every aesthetic and see what I like. And
Yeah.
like in my core, I am like naked mole rat core, where I just wear sweatpants and do drugs all the time. But I feel like that's just because it's the easiest. Like, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like another form of armor almost.
Mm-hmm. I think that it's easy. I mean, but like, just because you enjoy, like, I have two selves. I have like clothes that I put on to go out, clothes that I put on to feel good, and clothes that I put on to like feel good. Like I have comfy clothes, like feel good clothes,
Yeah.
like sweatshirts and shit. But then I have clothes that like make me feel good about myself.
And like, don't get me wrong, I'm not planning on getting rid of anything of my comfort. But like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's all I wear anymore is just comfort stuff, because my other stuff doesn't make me feel good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
that's valid.
yeah, like I started having these thoughts after I had the panic attack Saturday, when we were getting ready to film like our good episode, and I was like trying to look cute, and I was already dysphoric because I was on my period, and then trying to look good, and then I was just like, this doesn't feel like me, and it just made me like spiral.
Yeah. I think so. I am definitely like one of those people where like I might not know who I am, but I definitely know what my style is. Like I feel like I have gotten it down, and the only reason that it's gotten to that point is I stopped buying clothes that were like popular. And not to say that I don't still buy trendy stuff, but like I stopped buying clothes just because they were popular. And I just bought clothes intuitively. And I think that you have to like be in person. So like if I were doing this now, I don't know that I would, because I never go into stores
I
anymore.
think it's really hard because I'm also so mindful, I guess, of the clothes I buy. Like, I don't want to buy fast fashion, and I don't have the money to buy like the really expensive pieces. So like, thrifting isn't
No,
like,
I meant like,
but there's
yeah.
not a lot of thrifting options around here. So then it comes down to like trying to thrift online, and that's really hard. I lost my vape there for a second, and like I went full panic. I was like,
I saw that,
is my weed?
But I think, because like, and my style fluctuates. Like my summer clothes are definitely more like colorful, girly, feminine. But like my fall clothes are like grumpy old grandpa. Like,
Yeah, I feel like part of the problem I was having was like, I feel like for the last year, I've leaned very much towards my masculine side. And now I'm like re-embracing my femininity, but a lot of my comfort is from clothes. Like, I love to be comfortable. Like, I am a Taurus to my core, and I will never wear something for the sake of fashion if it's uncomfortable. Like, you're not going to catch me in a sweater that's itchy. It's not going to happen. And a lot of like comfortable things are bigger or baggier things. And then it also does come back to, I'm a slut at my core, so I'm like pairing like big baggy shorts with a tank top, and I'm like, that's not a fit. Like, that's just like something you dress a middle schooler in. And then I'm like, well, how do I make it feel like me? And I have no clue. I don't know what to do with that.
I think just experimenting is really the only thing that's going to get you there, and layering, like, not, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like physical layers to like would make you hot, but like mixing textures and aesthetics until you find something that speaks to you. But I think trying to put yourself in a box and like, okay, well, my style is this.
I
I
feel
think
like
that's what's not gonna work.
I feel like it's less wanting to box myself and more wanting to like not just buy things because I think I'm gonna like them, or because like I've seen other people wear them and I'm like, oh well, I know that looks good, or because I think it would look good on me, or because it's something that I previously would have worn. I think that's where I struggle. Like finding stuff that would make me feel good in the now, and it's not just something that's like I'm gonna hate in a month.
Yeah.
And if I like look through, like I cut the fuck out of my wardrobe in the last year, right? Like I have like bare bones just because of convenience, I guess. So I have a lot of leggings and I have a lot of like biker shorts and sweatpants, and like I have 3 or 4 really nice pairs of pants and I have some jeans. I have a lot of hoodies. I have a lot of slutty shirts. But like the pieces that I look at, like if I look at my wardrobe right now and I'm like, I have to get rid of everything but 5 things, I think the stuff that I would keep is like the comfier grandpa, like baggy, flannelly. And then I'm just like, am I a stereotype? But
I
like,
think so.
does it matter? You know?
No.
It's just like getting in your head about it.
Yeah, I think overthinking so like if those kinds of clothes bring you joy and comfort and they feel good like emotionally to wear, like who cares if that's
How do
like
you,
the stereo.
but like, what does that even mean? Like, how does it feel good emotionally to wear? Like, do you know what I
Like,
mean?
yeah, no, like if it feels trying to think of
See?
like an analogy,
It's hard.
but like if you would wear, I mean, because there's a difference between like that Yale hoodie that I wear all the time, like that does nothing for me, but that feels good emotionally to wear because it's like my comfort hoodie. But then there's also like a dress that I always wear when I'm like meeting new people because like that dress makes me feel powerful, and like that dress, it just feel like it fits me really well. It like shows my personality because it's colorful, it's a little different, it's not something that everyone wears. It's like that feels good emotionally to wear because I know that like I'm expressing myself authentically wearing
Yeah.
that. And I'm not like cosplaying as a different version of myself.
That's 100% what it feels like. Like, it
Yeah.
feels like cosplaying as like who you think you should be or who you think people want you to be. And that's where I struggle.
When I was a teacher, I literally, my entire wardrobe was just like Miss Frizzle fits. Like, I did not own a piece of black. And it actually, like, I'm not exaggerating because I wanted to get a side job at Ulta. And they make you wear black. And I got hired. And I turned down the job because I didn't own any black clothes. And I was like, I can't buy a whole new wardrobe just to work at Ulta. But, like, my whole wardrobe was, like, weird prints and colors and which like is a lot of my wardrobe now, but like there's a difference between like the things that I actually find are cute and the things that I bought because I knew it was what was expected of me.
Yeah.
And finding a balance because like that didn't come from nowhere. I enjoy clothes like that, but it didn't have to be my whole personality.
I feel like that's one of the things I struggle with as like a queer is like what I'm expected to look like. And like especially because I'm a mean ass bitch, but I'm also like a big baby. You know, like I am baby. Like I'm a cute little baby bottom and I want to be treated as such. And that's not gonna happen, I feel like, in my brain. Like my brain is like, if you're stomping around in your grandpa fits looking like you're gonna top someone, nobody's gonna think you're a cute little baby bottom. And then I'm like, what do I do with that? Like, I don't
That's the
know.
thing. Like, you don't have to cosplay as a bottom to be a bottom.
I know. And I know that. Like, logically, I know that. It's just like, it really fucks with me sometimes. Like, the idea of, like, what the standard is almost. And then it's like, but I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to be a standard. And I feel like there's parts of me that are very femme, and there's like things about me that are very much like slay girly. And then there's parts of me where I'm just like a gremlin, you know? And that's where I'm like, so like I'm just like feral. I'm just like a feral little rat.
So all the more reason your wardrobe should be feral. Like, have some fucking crop top low cut with baby and rhinestone on the tits.
That's so ugly.
Have
I
some
would
of
never
those.
wear that.
I know, but I'm just like, have some of those and some sweater vests.
I was
And
looking at the cutest sweater vest. It was like a little slutty too, because it was like a cropped sweater vest. And I was looking at it. It was like blue in like the grandpa knitted style sweater vest. And then I was like, oh, imagine that with like a white, like long sleeve shirt underneath, like tucked into like high waisted, like 80s jeans, like the long, or like jean shorts almost, like the frill top, long, like panted, cuffed, like 80s jeans. I was like, ah, that's so cute. Like that would be such a fit. And then as soon as I thought that to myself, I was like, would it be though? Like, would it be cute though? Would people know you were gay? And that's like what happens to me. It's like I start questioning if who I am would be shown through that. And like I have the opposite problem of you. Like I have no fucking clue what my vibe is, but I know exactly who I am. And I'm so determined to like express who I am that I'm like, if I don't look like how I feel like, then people aren't gonna know.
yeah,
Which
I think that's valid to feel, but also, like, I think it gets into that area of like having to prove your gayness.
yeah.
And if you try to limit yourself aesthetically just so people know that you're gay, then you're limiting yourself elsewhere.
Which is so funny because, like, realistically, even in what I'm wearing right now, like, looking at me, I'm fucking gay. Like, nobody looks at me and is like, oh, what a nice, straight young lady.
That
like,
brings up...
Nobody thinks that.
That brings up a really good point. Like, people will know. And you even said that to me because, like, I was crying about those friends that we had and how they said that I wasn't gay. And you were like, no one is going to look at the outfits that you put together and say that she's straight.
Nobody.
And that's the thing. Like, if it's something that you love, if it's an outfit that you love, it doesn't matter if it's the, like, femmest, trendiest outfit or, like, the gayest little, like, gremlin sweater vest outfit. Like, they're still gonna know. Like, it's your vibe.
Yeah. I feel like it's just, like, hard to find stuff that makes you feel good and also like makes you feel expressed.
Absolutely. And I think that's why like people with capsule wardrobes, I don't understand at all.
I don't
because
understand it.
like you need to have a vast amount of aesthetics available to you in your wardrobe at all times, because like there are some days that I just feel like a little like hipster forest fairy, like hippie girl, and like crochet and lots of layers and shit like that, and then the next day I want to dress like a slut with like short shorts and a crop top. Like, you need to have all of that because our personalities are so diverse. Like, there's no way that you can say, okay, well, my vibe is like this, and like that's all the clothes that I'm gonna have, because then you're limiting your ability to express those tiny little pieces of yourself that might just come out every now and then.
Yeah. I feel like when you start looking at something for so long, like I'm looking at like aesthetics and vibes, right? And I'm just staring at them, and it gets to the point where like I'll be like, oh, that's cute, and then I'll be like, is it cute? Or like I'll look at it too long and it'll be ugly now. And like I do that with clothes. Like I'll go to buy something and I'm a waiter. Like I put stuff in my cart and then I wait and I sit there and I see if I want it, right? That's like one of my favorite ways to budget, is that like I put it there, and then if I'm not still thinking about it in like a week and I don't go back to that cart, I won't buy it. But I'll go back like 2-3 months later and I'll see stuff in my cart because I'll be like, oh, I should get something, and I'll see it there, and then I'm like,
You hate it. I do the same thing.
yeah, but what if I would have bought it? Who am
Well,
I?
it's a good thing that you didn't. And I think, but there's also so many things that come into play when you're, especially online shopping, which, like, let's face it, that's all we do. And
I'm not leaving the house. I'm not talking to
people.
Absolutely not. Society in
But, like,
2023?
It could be like where you are in your cycle. Like, sometimes you're just feeling a little extra slutty, and then like a week later you're gonna be like, what? I would not wear that. And then if you had a bad day, if you're just, if like, I often, if I'm spending money, I'll go spend money somewhere else at the same time because I'm riding that adrenaline high of buying something that I'm excited for. And then I'll see something else that I just kind of like, and then I'll be like, oh, okay. And like, thank goodness for returns, but
I'm too lazy to return. That's another problem. You'll never catch me returning it. You want me to put effort into? No, it's just mine now. I just own this. And that's a real big problem that I have, which is why I wait to buy stuff, because I know even if I'm like, oh, it's free returns, I'm not going to return it. Like, I'm self-aware. That's just going to live with me now.
Well, that's good that you wait. I think that's a really good strategy to know if you really like something, because if you a week ago and you a month from now both like it, then it's a pretty safe bet that you'll like to wear it.
It's so inaccurate, because the outfit I wore in like 3 podcasts ago with the fishnets and the tank top and the hat, I hate it. I saw that on our Instagram today, and I was like, what the fuck are you wearing? I was like, what are you doing? But like, that day, I thought I was a bad bitch. I was like, wow, I look so cute.
But I see where that comes from, though, because, and I was like this a lot with streaming. Like, I wore a lot of stuff streaming that, like, I would not wear in public. Like because it felt like...
It's like
armor. Yeah. To put it on, and, like, I'm still myself, but it's like I'm the baddest bitch version of myself.
Yeah.
And that's okay every now and then, but like,
I feel like I'm just tired of being the baddest bitch version of myself. Like, I saw something the other day that was like making me sob, and it was like about having to be strong and like all the things that you do to like protect yourself. And then when I was like looking through the aesthetics, I was like, I feel like this is just another thing that I've done to protect myself. Like, I just find the most armor feeling clothes, or the clothes where like I feel like I'm gonna get critiqued the least, or I'm going to look the hottest, or where my tits are out enough that nobody's gonna like care that I look a little chubby that day. Like, I feel like that's what I lean into. Like, and even like male gaze stuff, like unintentionally I feel like I end up there because for so long that was where I sat.
Yeah, that makes sense. And to work through that is gonna take time, but I think even the clothes that you would wear to cater to the male gaze, that doesn't mean that those clothes are now the enemy. Like, you can still loop those into whatever new aesthetic you find for yourself.
I was folding laundry today, and I was just looking at all my clothes, and I was like, I'm gonna throw you out, and I'm gonna throw you out. And then I had no clothes left. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep you, and I'm gonna keep you.
I mean, but too, I think you're allowed, especially if you're buying clothes responsibly, like, you're allowed to, like, not keep things for 10 years. And I think because both of us grew up in poverty, like, when we bought clothes, it was an investment, and you had to wear those for the next 5 to 10 years, or as long as it
I have
fit.
jeans currently in my house that I do not fit in, that I won't get rid of because they're nice jeans, and I might fit in them again one day.
Right. Yeah.
And that's such the poor person in me.
Yeah.
Like, it's the poverty. And I know it's the poverty. And it's like when I buy, like, more canned food than I need when it's on sale. Or when I buy those, like, instant meals that I'm not really going to eat, but it's nice to have, like, those rice packets in the cabinet just in case. And there's so many things in my life that are just in case things. And I feel like I've reached that point with my clothes, which is why I got rid of a bunch of them, because, like, I only brought stuff with me that I was like, I'm going to wear this at least once a month. Like, if it's not on my body at least once a month, it's not coming with me.
Yeah.
But then that ended up just being comfy clothes because I'm a lazy little bitch.
And that's okay. And that fits your lifestyle. Like, so when I moved from Indiana to Tennessee and I went from working full-time, like 12-hour days in a professional environment to now never leaving my house, like, I got rid of a ton of clothes. And now the majority of my wardrobe is like comfy matching sets, like, but that's what gives me the most use now because I work from home and I don't leave the house. So, like, your clothes fit you, they fit your personality, they fit your lifestyle. So, like, that is not a weakness, and that is not, like, any sign of failure that the majority of your clothes are comfy because it fits your Did it again. Why am I thinking about websites?
I don't know.
Am I... Is there a message that I need? Did I forget something?
Are you thinking about checking out on a website? Do you have a shopping cart somewhere? Are you going to buy something you shouldn't be buying?
No, because we talked about that today. I can't do that. I did, the place that I got that cup that I was showing you, I did buy a new shirt. But I need shirts. I don't have a lot of them. And it was $5. Like, but, okay, that's where I was going to go. Like, I think buying clothes responsibly, I shifted from that. So, like, a lot in, like, my early, like, college, it was, like, all Forever 21 and, like, Charlotte Russe. And then I became a teacher and I started thrifting a lot. But I don't mind donating and getting rid of a lot of my clothes and cycling in new shit when my personality changes. Because I know that I got it responsibly the first time and I'm just putting it back into the universe for someone else to love. And I don't have to keep something for years and years because it was expensive or because I liked it once. Like, I can let that go. And if I miss it later, I can find something else that looks a lot like it. And, like,
yeah, I feel like I just struggle really hard with that. Like, and I feel like almost right now that I'm trying to buy clothes because I feel like I should be. Like, I feel like having just comfy clothes is, like, not a good thing, you know? And then, like, I'm getting ready for our podcast, or I'm getting ready to go to my sister's party or something like that, and I'm trying to look cute, and I'm, like, struggling harder because everything that I own is really comfy. And, like, going out into the world clothes are more minimum. And then I'm like, oh, well, I need to buy more. But, like, do I? Like, do I? You know?
I mean, there's a balance between like what you really need and being frugal. And like, yeah, I have a full wardrobe
I'm
right now. I
so
don't
cheap.
need
I'm so
more.
fucking cheap. I don't want to buy anything.
But I think your happiness and confidence are investments. And I think that getting, and you don't even have to call it a treat. You can buy yourself a present and say, like, this is something that I would find use in. I know that this is something that would make me feel good if I had this at my disposal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to gift this to myself,
I
even though it's not comfortable.
I feel like me and you have the opposite relationships with money. Like, I used to be you, where I would spend money a lot because we both grew up really poor. And, like, when I got it, I spent it. And now I'm at the point where, like, I have 2 kids, and I will, without a doubt, dish out money to buy my kids something, like, every single time I have money. But anytime I need something, I'm like, do you though? Like, do you need that? Like, is that important? But if it was the same thing for my kid, I'd be like, basket bought, like, seconds.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
funny because I just spent, like, what, $20 on beverages because I wanted a drink.
Right?
And I just wanted a bunch of beverages, and I didn't think twice about it. But, like, going on Amazon or going on, like, Depop and, like, thrifting some type of clothing and, like, ordering that for myself feels like such a splurge.
Yeah. And I do get that, and like,
I don't think there's a solution to it. I just think that's where I am right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man.
You just have to not.
You just have to not. You just have to
not put so much pressure on yourself, and just feel out what feels good.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know anything. You want to do drugs and play video games? Okay, let's go do that.
Yeah, I do.